Hey guys, this is Luis. We are welcome back. So in the previous videos, we looked at how to create organizational units. So we have our network structure set up, we have the HR, we have the MIS, and then we have the sales. Now we are going to walk through how to create user accounts. Now a user account is a collection of information that tells Windows which files and folders you can access, what changes you can make to the computer, and your personal preference, such as your desktop background or screensaver. So the user account is your profile, and it is what you will use to authenticate yourself to the system, and then it is what allows the system to know you and then what you can do once you are on the system. So to create a user account, for example, I'm going to create a user called Luis Jenfi, and he's going to be in the HR department. So I have expanded the HR, and then I'm going to right click on the users container under HR, then I'll click new, then select user. Now this is going to bring a new object, which is user. So it's going to create in louis.com, in HR, then in users. So I have to specify the credentials. So the first name is Luis, then I can put an initials here, then I have the last name Jenfi. Now I need to specify a user logon name. Now every organization has the standard that they use to specify their user logon names. Some will prefer to use the first name dot the last name. Some will use the first initial and then the surname. Then some can use just the first name. But if the problem with using just the first name, like say I decide to use Luis at louis.com, the problem with using the first name is that what if there is a second Luis? Am I going to make it Luis 2 or something like that? So most organizations probably go with the first name dot the second name. But then there is also a standard, which is basically, let's say L and then Jenfi. L and then Jenfi. So if there is another person, probably Linda Jenfi, that one will be Li Jenfi. So it moves in that order. This makes it easy to differentiate between the various users. So then I go to next. Then I need to specify a password. Now there is a default security settings in the Windows that requires that any password that you use on the server must be a complex password, and it must meet certain standards. So complex password, means has to be uppercase, lowercase, and then numbers and a symbol, a combination of any three of those. So I'm going to specify my password. Then I have user must change password on next logon. Now this must be checked. This is to ensure that as an administrator, you're not supposed to know the passwords of the people. If not, if there is any security breach, you are going to be held responsible. So for starters, you give them a default password. Then when they log on, they will be required to change their password. So I can also decide that the user cannot change password, but this policy will be in conflict with the first policy that says that the user must change the password on next logon. So I can uncheck this and then check this. If I try to check the two of them at the same time, it says you cannot check both user must change password at next logon and then user cannot change password for the same user. So I cancel out of this. So the user must change password on next logon. Then you can also say password never expires. You can also say password never expires. Now it says you specify that the password should never expire. The user will not be required to change the password at next logon. So if this also conflicts with the first policy there, are we okay? This also conflicts with the first policy there. So in case you don't want the people to be changing their password, you can say password never expires, and then that is it. Then in case someone leaves, you can also disable their account. In case someone leaves, you can also disable their account. Then I click next, and then it gives me a summary of everything. Then I click finish. So when I come to HR and I click on users, there it is. I have a user account called Luis Jenfi. Now, basically that is how you create a user account. But then I'm going to show you how to use the command line tool called ds-add to create user accounts, and then I will also show you how to create multiple user accounts at the same time. Thank you for watching.